brothers and sisters, generals, family, those that's been riding along. And you know, I gotta say it. I just gotta drill this into our spirit. We are leaders and teachers. We are not followers with a student spirit and meditate and marinate on our ancestors, those who fought hard through tooth and nail with little of nothing, brother or sister, that were generals, man, and fought with every fiber of their body to get many of us into that great divine space that we are in. And welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion. And that's current subscribers, new subscribers. You know, we gotta, be thankful for things. That's what keeps that good energy in us. And we just stay fired up. You know, of course, we're not serious all the time, but there's a time and place for everything. I'm not always serious. I know a lot of these podcasts, and some of us might come off, that's brother or sister, maybe a little deep sometimes, but I'm sure a lot of us have fun. But, it's just good to give that positive energy. And whoever's listening, or whether it's in our life, outside social media, however they take that energy, even if it comes from something deep, it will transform into something fun. Because when you carry positive energy to the pit of the soul, many great things will manifest, and that's fun too. So we don't have to worry about trying to have fun or pushing to have fun, because when we are connected to that great divine, Mother Nature and Father Time, as I say, things will come what, brothers and sisters and family? Natural. Yeah, and it's beautiful when it comes natural. And I always got to throw that what in there. Righteous. It's beautiful. Now, of course, it takes work, because I know I say righteous a lot. But as many of us real like-minded, maybe family members or brothers and sisters, and I'm talking about those that know what it is, that truly know oneself. We know that we always have to, I always say this, keep attached to reality. We got to make sure we have a good amount of reality in our life, because, with this life going, I always say person, place, or thing, especially social media, always going to be part of the topic, because it's here. But let's not get lost in that reality, that what we all say it together, all of us, false sense of reality. And it's easier said than done, but I'm telling you, when you are in that false sense of reality, and that's a danger zone. Danger. I just wanted to throw a little sense of humor in there, because I'm always, as I learn from a great brother, what I get to, you see the title here, not to be so stern and so anal retentive, as I've actually learned that from another teacher, because to be honest, that's not even in my vocabulary, so in order to fix challenges in oneself, brother or sister, young and old, we have to acknowledge it and, and focus on it, especially if it's something that can build our character and make us better, so we can pass it on to others, because again, a lot of us have been in that, I guess I'll say not aware state, so to speak, but when we look back, wow, and that's when we learn introspections and many other great things that come along when you're just willing to learn and explore. So, and I want to kind of tell a little story about oneself and, many brothers and sisters and in our families, and, we got aunties and uncles and grandmas and granddads and, sisters and brothers. I'm talking about biologically. We all got stories, whether they're, unfortunate. Some of them are negative, some of them are bad, but we got those great ones too, that catapulted us, if I said that right, catapulted us and got us to the position that we are in. I kind of fumbled that, but you know what I mean. So this is a salute to platforms that help build one. And that's something I notice when I be speaking, because if you listen to this channel, you see I like to do music, and just for future references, my son Lord Lamont, haven't talked to him I haven't had him on here in a while. I haven't spoke on him in a while, but Lord Lamont, he is on here. You get a chance, check out a podcast we did called Father and Son Discussions, and he just kind of working on some challenges in his life, building his foundation, so going through his transformation and stuff, but I do still talk to him. So look for that. Just wanted to bring that up. And, we going to build a platform together. I still stay in contact, but he just getting some stuff together. So look for that. And salute to him, things I've learned from him and my other children, so. But again, I'm gonna tell a little story about oneself. And again, like I said, many of us got great stories and great things that we have conquered and came through. And I'll say it one more time, salute to the platforms that help build one. And it's one particular platform I've came across. I've came across many, but this one particular platform, I would say, let's talk about a brother. I'm talking about me. Let's say 20 years ago. We'll say 20 years ago. I was in a totally different mindset than one is in right now. And I'll go and tell my age. I'm 54, Been through a lot of ups and downs and highs and lows, as I said in a song recently. Check that out. It's called Self-Control, and it's in the returning subscribers preview. So it's in there. And I get, how you kind of pin it at the top. So it's the last one I made, so it should be recently in the history or whatever. But it's called Self-Control, and every song I make is an emotion or a challenge that one is going through. So that's all music is to me. Not trying to get known and be this best artist, baddest rapper or nothing. It's just something I always, as Brother Biggie Small said one time, it's just something I've always done, and I've been doing it since the 90s. I've got stack of rhymes I've written, brothers and sisters. So cultivating and building, and I passed it on to my children. As I said recently, my son, Lord Lamont, and he's 30. And I got another son, Ethan, and his siblings, and he's 8 years old. And as I said, I volunteered at the school. But let's get back to this story of old EBX. And I'll try to tell a little bit about myself because I know, others don't know me, and other platforms I maybe have commented on in the past. They don't know me. But as I said on a recent podcast about clinging to that divine force and listening to that divine voice, sometimes we'll encounter things that we don't understand, but if we with that great divine, we standing with that force, walking with that force, we will understand in the end. So saying that to say, going back 20 years ago, I was in a total different mindset that one is in now. Now, how I got to this mindset, and when I say mindset, and a lot of us speak on this, but all of our walks and paths are different. So this is kind of talking about, one's path, just sharing, So that divine speaks to me, and it tells me, it said, listen to me, you want to work on yourself, right? Now, this is divine. This is the divine talking to me. Do you want to change yourself? And I say, yes. Do you want to become a better individual within, as a brother, as a black man? I say, yes. Then you're going to have to go through these layers, go through these tests. This is just kind of hypothetical, This is like things we think when we're by ourselves. These are the thoughts that we have. So this will be like what I'm saying now, how I'm speaking. These will be thoughts that I will be thinking to myself. So just kind of ride along with me. So these are thoughts that I have, kind of like discussions I have with my, great divine, that psyche deep within, So, and I say, yes, but you know how they say be careful what you pray for or you ask for. And that's kind of true, because one thing we'll recognize on this walk, brothers and sisters, and I'm sure maybe members of my family, brothers and sisters in the world or online, we have experience. Mother Nature, great divine, don't play. They're like parents. So if we call ourselves seeking truth and trying to become a better person, want to help culture or humanity, we better be real. Because whether we pay attention to the test or not, great divine is going to take us through that test. It's not just going to give us what we ask for, and it's not going to give it to us right away, depending on the individual. So back to what I said, 20 years ago, I had a different mindset than one has now. But it hasn't been easy to get to this state, and it's still levels to go through. We have to keep that in mind also, and, just a little mental note, never get to a state where we think we know everything. I say that from time to time. We have to learn things as we come into it, but, just be like I try not like paranoid, but just be willing to learn things. That way we don't miss stuff, and we do those little introspections on things that got us to the space that we're in, because that's what powers us and, making us want to do more and share it to others, because we want generals, right? So we have to build generals, help to build other generals, Because there are those that want to learn and grow, brother, sister, young or old, and some in our families. I try to include all. It just depends on the individual. Circle of life. So, like I said, different mind state now. I want to get back to the platform, and there's many platforms that I listen to and have listened to, and a lot of them I still listen to today. It's just so many, but when you become true to oneself, you'll be connected to the right brothers and sisters, and that's in our families, in the world, but of course on platforms, So, but this platform I came across, again, like I said, there's many brothers or sisters, but this one particular one, and I won't say I was broken, but I definitely wasn't there, and I like those platforms that make you deal with yourself, because this is one of them platforms that when I came across it, it made me deal with myself. That's why I say, and a lot of us say this, that's why it's very, very vital and important that we have, when we're listening to a teacher or someone speak, that they are real and genuine. Because when they are, they'll tap into that shit inside. But that's when the fight begins. We can't, we have to look deep within ourselves. That's why we hear this so much. And, if we're getting certain thoughts about a speaker we're listening to, we have to dive in deep, see where that shit's coming from. So that's when we start. One thing I learned on this walk is impulses. And because impulses will help us too. Sometimes impulse can save our life. And I'm not just talking about death. Just something when we do something off a wrong impulse that impact us either for a while or maybe even our whole life. So once we learn those impulses, then we'll kind of take time to understand oneself and see where different, feelings come from or thoughts and just deal with it. It's not an easy thing to do. Sometimes you might kind of fall down, but, still get back up. But when we are fixing ourselves, when we're going through the healing process and trying to fix oneself, don't involve others in it. If you think you might feel toxic, or, I'm not saying we are, I'm just kind of hypothetic, don't affect no one else with it. Either get help or try to help oneself. And when you do that, and sometimes it takes time, but we have to do it. Remember, Great Divine, Mother Nature, doesn't play. So remember, Great Divine is always watching. So, that's could be my opinion, but to me it's a fact because we have experienced, karma, things coming to pass, all those great things. So that's why we have to work on thyself and not infect others, because Great Divine is watching over others too. So we got to think about that. We got to, those, I'm not saying everybody do this, but we got to stop making like God is our own thing. No, it's our Great Divine. It's our God. So we can't take God and put it in a box. Are you kidding me? Great Divine watches over because shut all this down. Are you kidding me? So that's why we have to work on thyself, because you never know who's connected to that divine. Because remember, everyone that has a divine spirit and mean well is protected, remember? So that's why we have to work on thyself, because it protects us too, So, and a lot of times it protects us from ourselves. So I'm just saying all this because these are things that help me when I listen to other brothers and sisters speak on platforms. And something my son said, Lord Lamont, that I talked about a minute ago. It's good to get positive energy, but things are not always going to feel good. Some people just need to get this in their spirit. Sometimes we need that hard truth. That's what make us deal with ourselves. So that way we can become real with ourselves, and then we can be living real and not just saying we're real. So this kind of stuff I've dealt with, but it took a while. It took a long time. Sometimes we think we got things out of us and they're not. And how do we know that? When we're tested. So when you can listen, when we finally know that we are truly aware and we got rid of the ego thing and self-esteem and all that old dumb shit that we don't need in our psyche, when we are truly awakened, when we can listen to a brother or sister that kick that hard truth, might hit a nerve, when we can say, okay, yeah, he right. I think I got a problem in that area. Let me check that out. When we can do that, we truly have ascended. And I want to say this platform that gave me a voice. I always say the only platform I've ever been on. Help me with this, And the brother is strong. sometimes you just got to give brothers and sisters their props. If they have that magnetic field, they have it. I mean, if they have it, they have it. We got to give them that honor. So I came with it. And remember, there's many platforms, not just this one I'm speaking about, but it's just one in particular that impacted my way of thinking and my way of being, as well as my family too. I never put my family out of there, because as I said, as many of us, it's unfortunate that some of us maybe don't have strong families, but look for the good in them, and that's something I learned from the platform I'm talking about. We take the good and leave the bad. That's not mine. I learned that from my brother and many others on this platform. And everybody on that platform played a part in building one. So salute to platforms that help build one. And that's what we have to do. We honor our teachers and we honor ourselves, and we become a teacher ourselves, but never lose that student spirit, so that way we can catch things. We won't miss things. We'll keep that student spirit. And the student spirit is for what? For learning. Even when we at our highest level in our life, we still should keep that student spirit, because it will do things like I'm doing now. It will put honor in our spirit, because if we honor that great divine, we'll honor our great teachers out here, brother or sisters, the real ones that really is giving an impact. Even those that speaking, as Malcolm X said, we got to speak too. We got to get that energy out there. But that's the spirit of Malcolm. I've studied Malcolm X, but he did say we got to turn that speaking into action at some point in our lives. But something I always say, if we're connected to that divine, truly to the pit of our soul, the action will come. It will come. It will be, like I said, second nature. It'll come, like me volunteering. And I'm sure it's a lot of brothers and sisters that probably are, I ain't gonna say probably, that are doing things outside of social media and really is giving an impact, because you do have brothers and sisters that give assessments, and even though some of them charging and maybe, but some of them mean well. Not everybody is a scammer, but again, we are truly connected to that divine. We'll know who the real ones are. We really will, if we are at that highest level of self-awareness and not mixed in with no toxic things that keep us in a web, like social media. If we're not in that space, we'll know who the real ones are. Even the ones that maybe make and a lot of them, because like I said, I watch platforms. A lot of them don't charge a lot, to get assessments and stuff. And a lot of them do want to help people and have. And, because I've heard, because I watch, like I said, I watch platforms. I comment too. I don't do it all the time. But every now and then I kind of comment just to let those know, just sometimes. Because some of these platforms, brothers and sisters, they be powerful. I was like, man, I got to say something, just to give a little honor and show a little support, But I've actually seen comments where people have changed their lives getting assessments. And I've heard people say they stopped drinking, they stopped smoking. And, and the speaker will salute them. Real talk. Everybody, salute such and such for stop. And that's good. So I'm telling you, some people's lives are being changed. And I'm one of them. Or change, because you got those out there that really are trying to change their lives. So that's the good part about having righteous platforms out here. And salute to that platform I was talking about. And as I said on a recent podcast, I think it was salute to sisters that inspire one. And I talked about it's a sister that visits my channel every now and then. She's from this platform I'm talking about, and the beginning subscribers came from this platform, and I'm telling you, I mean, we just got to be grateful. That great divine wakes us up and, and drops those brothers and sisters in our lives, or not drop them, but, manifests the family members in our lives, the brothers and sisters in our lives, whether in the world or online, because everything that's righteous plays a part in our life. Sometimes we might not understand it, as I said on a recent podcast. Sometimes we might not understand what that great divine is doing, but if we stay with it and we're not malice or toxic or jealous or hating, and we just stick to fixing oneself, brother or sister, young or old, and we just keep that love, and we just keep keep doing what that great divine has put on our heart to do, we will see things come to pass. And just keep giving that honor. Again, we honor that great divine, we honor our teachers, we honor ourselves, and then we become a teacher. and we just keep passing that baton and just keep getting, man, stronger and more powerful, So I'm going to stay grateful no matter what. I will deal with any issue I have within oneself, because I said so many times, once we start seeing results in fixing oneself, and we see it in others that we may be giving advice to or help, maybe physically or spiritually, it's wonderful. And you'll see it come back, man, again and again and again. But we got to stay in that righteous realm, and mix the mistakes and the things we do in this human body. But I'll say over and over, we got to study, you got to practice on oneself. Again, makes oneself a project. Anything, I don't care what it is coming through our psyche. So we can have good righteous energy going up and down our spine. And I learned a little bit about the spine from, guess what? Listening to a sister that spoke on that platform that I was talking about. And it's just, some platforms are just beautiful, man. And it's just different. And this is one of those platforms. And I salute that brother, and I say names sometimes, but I really don't like to say names out of respect. And that was a question my son asked me on the podcast. I had to take it down because it had some kind of copyright on it, but it was another podcast. And my son, Lord Lamont, he'll be back on here, so look for him. Father and Son podcast. And I love those discussions with him. It's beautiful. But he asked me, he said, Pops, he called me Pops. He said, Pops, why you don't like to say people's names? Why you don't say names? And I told him, out of respect. And he was like, never thought about that. Yeah, because it's out of respect. And, it's just when it's time to say the name. And when I do say different individuals' name, I would like to be talking to them when I say their name, so that's why I don't say names. But sometimes I do. I might say celebrities' names, but it's never in a negative light. It might be an example or something like that. Like Keisha Cole. I made a podcast about Keisha Cole. I said some very wonderful, positive things about her. I talked about Lauryn Hill and Aaliyah, and I even talked about Megan Thee Stallion. I said all positive things about her because, like I said, what I talk about on this channel, brothers and sisters, and my family, and those who watch, and subscribers, and anybody that view, say it together. We got to look above and beyond. So salute to the platforms that help build one. Because when I came to this platform that I'm talking about specifically, it was a lot of stuff that I didn't know I had inside of me to deal with. And this brother and everybody on there now, the chat room, other teachers he's had, brother or sister, all played a part in building one. And I'm so appreciative of that, as well as my family. Because, my family has been there, and I said it before, my family has been there for me when sometimes I didn't deserve it. I got to keep it real like that, This is before I was aware. So this is what introspection does. What I'm kind of doing now, this is a sort of an introspection, Just you got to just marinate on the wonderful things that Great Divine has brought in our lives to get us to the platform that we are on right now. And that could be any platform, I'm just speaking on those I've met and, some on YouTube, stuff like that. But as I heard a great brother say, our platform, it depends on who we are as an individual, how our platform will be and how it is, But I know we hear righteous a lot, again, before I'm kind of getting ready to finish, but again, salute to the platforms that help build one, again, that's many, brother or sister. And this one particular one I'm talking about, like I say, the only platform I've ever been on, it gave me a voice. It gave me a spark. And, it put things, that brother and that platform I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain it. It just brought things out of me and helped me deal with shit too. Got to keep that reality. It helped me deal with that wrong shit I had too. But it brought things out of me. It's kind of been in me, but it's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Sometimes, like I said, you just got to give some brothers and sisters their props. When they got it, they got it. Because this brother and that platform brought stuff up out of me that I never thought I could, So I'm just thankful for that. And as well as my family. Like I said, they've been there when I didn't even deserve it. Real talk. So I just had to get that out. This is another one of them things that's been in my spirit for a while. I'm just feeling appreciative, Salute to platforms and my family that help build one, and took me out of that dumbass mindset, because it's wonderful. And I'm going to go back to righteous I was getting ready to talk about. Now, I know we hear that word righteous a lot. I say it a lot. And I've said this so many times. Now, being righteous, some people, it depends on who the individual is, how they take it when they hear that word. But at some point in our lives, we will have to be righteous in some areas. And I'm saying, like I said, not this perfect brother or sister, young or old, but being righteous is the only way to live a free life and a long life. So I'm gonna stop right there. So to each is his own. But all I know is that great divine force has been so good to so many of us, and that's my family, that's brothers and sisters in the world or online. And I'm thankful that great divine has finally, man, when I say finally, whoo, man, holy crap. And it took forever to get to this space, but a lot of us don't have to be like that, because it's a process, brothers and sisters. There's no getting around it. But when we finally get there, we will be so grateful. And like I said, salute to my family, my children, my children's mothers. Stay with it. The great divine has something for us if we in that right space. So again, salute to the platforms that help build one. Salute y'all. Until the next one, be on fire and be that generals that I know we can be and always will be. Salute.